Okay, welcome to a little artwork tour of Dave Crane's house. Artwork and plants. This of the Mersey River in Kedgwick National Park, a photograph that I took that my dad painted a number of years ago. A photograph that I took on a portage backcountry site many years ago with my daughter Jelena, an old friend of mine from the US. More plants. I'll skip by those for a moment. And my dad's wood carvings. Before arthritis unfortunately took his ability to do wood carve, he was able to do all kinds of things with his hands, including temper steel and make hatchets and tomahawks, and he even did this one time from a solid piece of wood. And that's just a, like about a 10 centimeter piece of wood that he carved into chain links, and it's all made from one piece. More plants, including fresh herbs, which I'll be eating sometime soon. Birdhouse, 3-tenement birdhouse, whoops, that my dad used to build. Those are individual apartments. This is the last one that I have, so I don't put it outside because I'm trying to preserve it for long-term safekeeping. More plants. A lovely painting that my dad did of a house in PEI that was pretty much falling down, and I call it The House with Nobody in It because I was inspired by the poem by Joyce Kilmer that I dearly love and read quite often. Another Kedgie painting, and in fact this has got a lot of sentimental value for me because it's the last painting my dad ever did. And still did a good job of it, but his health was failing terribly at the time, but he still was able to put in a pretty good result. Another painting he did of Kedgwick, Mersey River, very similar to the one on the wall that I showed at the start of the video. And this gem as well is done by my good friend Harry Staple from Toronto. And this is going to have some relevance in a moment because his son, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree obviously, because his son has done some charcoal work for me. And I think you're going to be equally impressed with that. This was done from a photograph that I took about 7 o'clock in the morning at one of our famous Kedgie trips. This year will be the 9th one, and the fog is rising off the mainland, and I think Harry was able to capture it. And it's all a handmade frame too, by the way. That's handmade and hand painted. So not only the frame was done by my good friend Harry, but the painting as well. A painting my dad did from a photograph that I took of a total eclipse of the sun. And that was taken quite early in the morning at Kedgie when the eclipse happened. I think he really nailed it pretty good. And on to the 2 charcoals that Devin Staple has done for me. One of my beloved cat, Shawnee. The glare is giving us a hard time here, but I think you can agree that it's pretty cool. In fact, Devin, I had done a couple of small favors for Devin at one point in his life, and he said, "David, I'd like to do something for you." And I handed him this photograph. And I said, "Well, let's see if you can come up with that." And I'll tell you what, I think he really did something quite special to nail my beloved cat so beautifully and so artfully. But this is the latest edition. I've had this charcoal for a while, but I just took it to my good friend Arlene Vincent and that owns Maples Gallery in Halifax, and she framed it up for me and did an excellent job. I had it in a very cheap $20 thing for a while, and it wasn't doing it justice at all. And took it into the expert, and she painstakingly framed it herself, and I think it's a lovely job, and almost equals the quality of the painting itself. Excuse me, the charcoal itself. But I have to say it's one of my prized possessions, and Devin and Harry and Leslie really appreciate all of the influence that you've had to, I guess, see Devin come up with such a beautiful piece of work. And thanks again, and I look forward to more.